starting your journey to financial freedom. Now. You're listening to the New Investor Podcast.
Okay, so the journey towards financial freedom has just gotten slightly more complicated. Yet again, no one ever said it was going to be a walk in the park, but the upcoming few months will be financially very tight for me, as I am still planning on pushing my investing agenda forward, even if at lower volumes for now. So let me clarify. I still firmly believe that the market is still overvalued and that we're yet to see the markets reach a low point in a not too distant future. Uncertainties on how the pandemic will evolve, the potential of a second wave of infection, and the non-availability of a viable treatment or vaccine is still very much a threat to the world economy. So the disposable income I will be generating through my extreme savings will be allocated into a fund on monthly basis, as I have always done. And this fund serves actually now two purposes. One, it could serve to ensure I secure enough liquidity to face the upcoming uncertainties, or two, to invest it in its totality as soon as the market hits its lowest point, which is a direct risk to my livelihood in case the crisis deepens further, as the fund would be drained and I will not be able to lean on cash reserves if anything happens. So if I had to choose between a few months of hardship against the certainty of formidable gains in the future, I think it is an easy decision to make. I am invested in the United States as well as Asia, and I have full confidence in the swift recovery of the strongest economies the world has ever seen. The only downside is that my cash flow is hurt, and that fund will be 60% smaller than it used to be in the next few months. I just lost the initiative. So I did speak about the importance of adaptability, and that we are to continuously strategize, as goals are moving targets, as we know, and there is no way one would be able to achieve them without acting quickly in both these dimensions. Acting quickly as opposed to being undecisive is double-edged, but we are living through the worst crisis in almost a century. Being undecisive will ruin you at so many levels that I don't even have the courage of listing them all. So I spoke to a good friend of mine yesterday, and something stuck with me through our conversation. He said that looking at this crisis from a pure economics standpoint is a mistake, and we need to be grateful for the time we have been given to be with the people we love, as opposed to your usual 11 hours a day at work. Now, it does make sense, of course, but as far as I'm concerned, I can't help but thinking that this is way too romantic for me and could not be further from reality. Reality for me has always been practical. And believe me, when I tell you that the luxury of time that is now being granted to us temporarily will no longer be a luxury when you're financially free. And the only vector I can see now that could get me a step closer, however small, is how I can leverage the ravage of this crisis on the economy to serve my purpose. We can't let COVID-19 destroy everything we have ever worked for, including our dreams, without choosing a front to fight on. That's unnatural to me. Apart from all of that, this week will be the week tech giants will be releasing their earnings, and it will be really interesting to see how they performed through the pandemic and the ramification on the world economies, including their own. I will be looking out for Apple and Microsoft, especially as they represent a large portion of my portfolio. I have a funny feeling that these earning calls will be excellent learning grounds for anyone wishing to receive a crash course on high-level crisis management. Cash too, by the way. I also have a general good feeling about the tech sector as a whole, as they are benefiting on the crisis in some ways, given the shift we're starting to see towards more digital approaches. So in the meantime, stay healthy and stay invested.